Welcome to our webinar on delivering a seamless, productive app experience on ChromeOS with Cameyo. All right, next slide, please, Sandeep. There we go. All right, we are really excited to have representation from both Cameyo and ChromeOS with us today. So over the next 30 minutes, we're going to explore how ChromeOS and Cameyo work together, complete a live demo of Cameyo's platform, which is also going to show us how Cameyo can be fully hosted in Google Cloud or just self-hosted on a multi-cloud, hybrid, or an on-premises environment. And at the very end, we are going to do a Q&A. All right, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Haley Zapata, your webinar host. I am the Alliance Marketing Manager at Promevo. I would like to say that Promevo is a Google partner. We are 100% Google focused, and we sell, service, and build Google products. As you can see from my screen, we specialize at ChromeOS, Google Cloud, Google Workspace, and our own workspace management tool, gPanel. So Promevo prides itself in its partners, and we have two great partners here today. So I'd love to present to you our presenters. We have, next slide, please, Sandeep. Wonderful. Eric Johnson, our account executive at Cameyo, and Sandeep Gupta, who is business development and go-to-market lead at ChromeOS with Google. All right, Sandeep, take it away.
All right. Well, thank you, Haley. I appreciate the introduction and the welcome. Just wanted to introduce myself, Sandeep Gupta. I am the Chrome Enterprise lead when it comes to business development and go-to-market, focused on the virtual apps segment of our business. I was really just looking at the poll responses thus far, and it's really wonderful to see the percentages of how Chrome is being used and where Chrome is being used. I love to see the high percentages. Obviously, we love hearing from our end customers in terms of adoption, but we'll get more into that as we go through here. So I have a few slides on deck and talks a little bit about ChromeOS and our wonderful partner Cameyo. I will use the next roughly 5 to 10 minutes to go through some of these slides because I do want to get to the wonderful demo that Eric has in store for us. So I really want to just run quickly through how we are positioning Chrome Enterprise and Cameyo. These are two solutions that really complement each other. We're obviously been working together for a number of years now, and we've gotten to a point where the integration between the two has become almost seamless. So businesses like yourselves are telling us that legacy endpoints are causing problems, a lot of problems. And while existing employees were able to kind of bring their work devices home at the start of the pandemic, deploying these devices to new staff is a significant challenge, right? Securing these devices, if they are ever on the corporate network, is always a challenge, and customers are always looking at how they migrate to a zero trust type model. That's something that is not being compromised in our times today. Deploying and updating applications to remote workers, again, whether they're in a completely different state or if they are just remote, within the state, is a significant challenge. And our users are struggling with a poor user experience caused by those tools, those VPNs, those security tools, and just simply, update management, if you will. But the good news is that there is an alternative that is simple, that's fast to deploy, and it scales effortlessly and works particularly well for these types of remote and mobile workers. These are some of the key benefits for deploying ChromeOS for your business. ChromeOS is it's a modern cloud-first experience that empowers your employees to do their best work. The best thing about it being a cloud OS is that we can be very seamless in all of the changes that we want to make from a fleet management perspective. ChromeOS is inherently safe. It protects users from growing threats and protects your businesses from costly attacks. Unfortunately, there's too much of this in the world. ChromeOS, and one of the reasons why it is so secure is like, think of ChromeOS as a read-only operating system, right? You cannot tamper with the operating system. Therefore, it's super fast to deploy, scalable as we mentioned. All of your business critical apps are delivered from the cloud. Again, the feasibility of just being in the cloud allows fleets and organizations to stay really, really nimble, whether you have to support a critical app that's in the cloud or an application that is of legacy. We can do all of that. And so, and lastly, I want to mention that these devices are ultimately bringing costs down and lowering your organization's carbon footprint. So there's a lot we can do with from all of these various different angles. ChromeOS really puts you in control, as I was mentioning. Built-in proactive security, granular policy controls, automatic updates for just seamless, continuous protection. It's really designed with security in mind, to protect users and their data against ransomware, malware, phishing threats, you name it. So keep going. Zero-touch enrollment. We make it easy for administrators to purchase devices and drop ship them directly to users, right? This process is literally as simple as buying a device, shipping it, and then just using it. And how this works is devices are automatically enrolled into the domain, into your organization's domain. They're synced with employees' policies and settings and applications, and it just makes the entire process simple and worry-free. Zero-touch enrollment, I believe, was introduced back in 2018, 2019. Zero-touch enrollment will be a requirement for all new Chromebooks leaving the factory next year. So that's super exciting. So we're going to roll this out across the entire fleet starting next year. We currently have 80 device models that are certified for ZTE, and 20 plus zero-touch enablement partners ready to go on this front. Promevo is one of them. So with ChromeOS, you get this flexible experience. You get devices that boot up quickly. They reduce employee downtime, very, very important because there's a cost to that. And then they stay fast and they don't slow down over time. That's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on, is like the durability of these machines. The ChromeOS device ecosystem really offers a broad selection of form factors, including laptops, convertibles, desktops, all-in-ones with long battery life, modern features like an SSD drive and touchscreens. So what really, who benefits from this are really the employees, right? They can work offline with access to Google Play Store apps and local files and Google Drive files and Gmail on any of these form factors that we just mentioned. And the best part is that updates are installed in the background to reduce those interruptions and downtimes. And as that's happening, your system is keeping in tip-top shape. With ChromeOS, every type of worker in your organization can access the apps that are needed to just do their best work wherever they are. I am part of a team called the Chrome Enterprise Recommended Team, and with that, you benefit from our growing list of partners that have optimized their products for ChromeOS to ensure that they can run smoothly and deliver the best user experience to your employees. Securely access Windows applications through a virtualized desktop or a virtualized app in a browser with our partner Cameyo. So I'm really looking forward to Eric showing how that magic works. And then with that virtualized delivery, You can access productivity applications like Microsoft Suites and Google Workspace and WebEx and Evernote and the video conferencing apps your teams know and love, like Google Meet or Zoom, etc. ChromeOS is really, designed to optimize costs and energy consumption over time. I was alluding to this a few slides ago. We've quantified that when organizations make the switch, they can save up to $482 per device per year in reduced deployment, upgrade, and training costs. This is super important. There's obviously a cost associated with each device, and it's not just the cost of the device. You have to support the device from an administration perspective. And this is a per year cost savings. So IT administrators and CIOs really love the savings associated with this, not to mention everything else that it brings: security, durability, boot time, etc. So this is something that we really have kept in mind. Making an investment in Chrome is a very smart investment. Chromebooks use up to 46% less energy, and they ultimately lower your carbon footprint. They're made of sustainable and recycled materials, which Google has been a carbon neutral company since 2007, and we reflect that in the products that we make with our ecosystem, with our OEMs. And Google is also matching 100% of our electricity consumption with renewable energy purchases, right? So that's really something we pride ourselves on, just lower energy consumption, minimum waste, etc. So with that, I would love to hand this over to Eric to talk a little bit more about how we enable these, ultra secure cloud desktops with Cameyo and virtual app delivery.
Awesome. Well, hey, Sandeep, thank you for laying that foundation. I really appreciate the detail there. And I think, what's really cool about being part of Cameyo is that day in, day out, my responsibility as an account executive here is to help customers, realize the value of their Chrome implementation, their Chromebooks, and how they can actually make that a reality in their infrastructure. And so, here at Cameyo, what we do is virtual application delivery. And what's really cool about it is it's really an evolution of maybe where we've been, historically with the adaptation of VDI going into organizations. And it was a really cool opportunity to kind of have VDI and to know what that gave us with, sort of a non-cloud native capability of delivering Windows desktops. And yeah, it was managed on-prem, but like we hadn't seen anything like that at the time. And with Cameyo, we really think of ourselves as sort of the next gen of VDI. And so kind of in the middle here, you see on my slide, we've got DAS sort of explained. Again, it's cloud native delivery of Windows desktops, but it's fully hosted from the vendor's environment. And I think where you see Cameyo step in as sort of that next gen is doing the virtual application delivery. And so now with Cameyo, what we have instead is a cloud native opportunity here to be able to host in your environment, to be able to host in Cameyo's environment, and to deliver to any device. And that's what I think is so powerful about Cameyo. It really is just any application to any device that you want. And I'll be able to show you that possibility here in just a minute. But I wanted to go over just a couple more slides with you before we dig into the demo to just kind of lay the foundation for what Cameyo is about. So really what our 4 pillars are, I think this is so integral to our organization. We remain true to this, that Cameyo is going to be simple. You'll see this firsthand in just a second, but I can publish an application through Cameyo in just a few minutes. Our customers love the ability to implement their software effectively and easily and push those out to Chromebooks and make a really cool experience that feels like it's natively installed on the endpoint, but it's actually, running through Cameyo, and I'll show you how that's done. But I'm just touching on a couple more of these. The security, obviously, when you make a decision to start implementing ChromeOS, it's a security play. It's really awesome to be able to extend that too with Cameyo, because what we're doing on our side of things is kind of eliminating that need for a desktop. We're getting rid of the VPNs, which we all know is a really popular attack vector, and getting rid of open firewall and server ports as well in the process. So it's a really cool security play to start going through Cameyo, because we're getting rid of that desktop feel and just pushing the application out to the user through a browser. It is incredibly cost effective. I think obviously you saw some of the value of transitioning to Chromebooks and using that in your infrastructure already with the presentation we've seen so far, but Cameyo can help you push even more into that. Typically, our customers that are converting over legacy VDI enjoy around a 70% savings. And there's infrastructure benefits as well. So it really is a cost-effective solution. And again, just touching on that flexibility, I already mentioned, any application to any device. Well, we also are going to integrate with your SSO providers, your databases, et cetera. We're going to be able to help you with even like legacy on-prem applications that you want to publish in a browser. So just incredible amount of flexibility in the solution. And, in addition to that, those 4 pillars, I'd say one of our biggest focuses at Cameyo is, how can we be essentially just transparent? Like, let's get the user the application that they want to use, and let's not put some layers in between, some complexity in between that makes you have to switch between different systems. And so, I think it's really true. The statement on this slide here is that we really blur the line there and offer a layer of transparency for users to access their applications and not feel like they're dealing with some kind of middleware. And then I just want to go over just a couple points about our integration with Chrome. So again, like PWAs are going to be a huge focus. Obviously, you saw that in Sandeep's presentation. With Cameyo, we can actually push those PWAs out to Windows devices and make that application feel like that Windows application feel like it's locally installed on ChromeOS. So just that native experience and the ability to take users who are maybe set in their ways with Windows devices in the past, they can now transition really easily to Chrome and not feel any kind of challenge in learning a new OS. They'll just adapt, almost instantaneously. And that's always really cool to see in my customers' environments as they realize like, okay, yeah, we can implement these Chromebooks very quickly and very easily. And it's just going to be lights out, a better experience across the board. For our fully hosted product, we do host in Google Cloud. We also offer a self-hosted solution too, so you're able to host in your environment. And then just to reiterate, yeah, there's a deep integration in this partnership with Google. We'll integrate with Google Workspaces and allow you guys to push out applications through there and integrate with the SSO side of things. And so I guess just really quickly, I wanted to give you an architectural overview, and then we'll dig into the demo. I'll be quick with this, but essentially the endpoint device that you see here requests access to the application they want to run. A Cameyo server is assigned to the task, and then there's that secure handshake that takes place there in Cameyo's secure cloud tunneling service. And so it runs that application on the server, but presents it fully encapsulated in HTML5 to the end user's device. And so I'll show you that firsthand now in a quick demonstration that I have prepared for you. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Perfect. All right. So this is what the Cameyo interface looks like. You can see it really is incredibly elegant. There are just a few things that we'd want to run through here. So I'll first click over into apps and kind of show you. Here are the applications that I'm currently running. Now, this could be a view that's available for end users, so they could have like a tile grid to be able to access and click on the apps they want to run. But we can also push those out as PWAs, so they're pinned to the taskbar on your Chromebook, which is a really cool feature that we've talked a lot about. But really what I want to dig into is just kind of showing you, what it's like to publish an application in Cameyo. So I'll click over on my server infrastructure here. I'll run persistent servers. We can have an elastic cluster as we're hosting inside of Google Cloud, and so that makes you really ready to respond to any kind of requests that happen in your environment, so you can expand and contract as needed and enjoy those cost savings and that flexibility. But here I've got my server here. So what I'm going to do is actually connect as administrator there, and you will see me just really logging into a Windows server. So we're going to be running the server OS and what's going to happen here is I'm going to install the application right here in front of your eyes. And what's cool about Cameyo is it's really just 3 easy steps for that process. So you're going to bring your installer files. If you already have them, great, let's install them on the server. If not, we can just launch a quick browser. And I'll do Notepad++ just to make it real easy for me. And just kind of show you firsthand what it's like. So I'll get this download ready to go and run through the install wizard here. And installing on the server is going to be like installing any software that you've typically installed. So you can just follow the wizard, do the configurations that you need to for the application you're trying to run. And there you see I've installed Notepad++. Here it is running just fine, and it is installed on my server. So if I go ahead and minimize that, you see here I'm on the server. So next step, we're done with 2. 1 and 2 is already done. 3 is just to go to this Publish Your Apps window. And here you'll see apps that are currently published and recently installed applications. So you just saw me do Notepad++. I'll grab Acrobat Reader 2. We'll just do both of those all at once. And you can see it is successful. So now if I switch over to my apps page, we should see a quick update. There we go. So now Notepad and Acrobat Reader are both available. What did that take me, like a minute? It's incredibly fast, really easy to use Cameyo. And for users, this is how it's essentially going to be for them to access the application. So anybody that gets this link will have the ability to access the application. Now we mentioned those SSO integrations as well. So you can use that connection there to push the applications out that way. With this feature, you can create restrictions. You can show it in that portal page, which I was just showing you a second ago. And then you can push it out as a PWA. So you'll get the link here that you can push in your Google admin and share that out to either the start menu or the taskbar. So really cool feature. But when you're looking at the application itself, it's just Acrobat Reader here running as if it is installed locally on the workstation, but it is in fact running in a browser. So all the features and things are here. Keyboard pass-through, all that kind of stuff is available. And some other stuff that's really cool about this is we actually replaced the native file dialog. And so what I have instead is the ability to integrate directly with my G drive for my users. I can integrate with other drives as well, do things from the local device, but it's a really seamless experience that allows you to handle those files correctly and save to the repositories and connect to the repositories that you'd like to. Printing is working just fine through this as well. It's essentially presented through the HTML5 player. So all that sort of peripheral capability of the HTML5 player is passed through here. And then there's just cool features like this little taskbar that allows me to have different applications that are presented through Cameyo shared here. So I can click between those and run those applications and just kind of work as you'd expect a user to be able to work on a desktop with locally installed applications, but they are in fact just running through a browser here with Cameyo. There are a few other features, but I know we're getting shy on time. So let me just show you a couple other quick things that I think are important, and then we'll wrap for some questions. But so I mentioned the SSO integration. Here's where you set that up. It's incredibly easy to do that. You can connect to your Google Drive here. You also have the ability to insert your company logo. So on the places where you're seeing Cameyo inside of our platform, we can make that so it feels integrated into your business and your practice, showing your logo on load screens and things like that. There is a cool dashboard feature that allows us to kind of see as an administrator the overlay of our organization, what's happening, how many sessions are running, what applications are active, what servers are active, what our usage is, and all that kind of stuff. So, but what I really want to pull back to here is that this is an elegant and incredibly simple solution that allows you to do exactly what you're looking to do. So I just encourage you to kind of challenge that paradigm of needing to have a desktop available to push Windows applications. You can actually do this on Chromebooks incredibly effectively and have these applications installed easily. Licensing is simple, and Cameyo is here to be a partner along with Google and Promevo to help you package this solution together and make it an effective solution for your environment. So we would love to offer you guys a free trial of Cameyo. So you can just contact your Promevo sales rep and we can get this spun up in a matter of seconds. It's pretty easy to do, and we do a free 30-day trial. So now I guess I can wrap for questions.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much, Sandeep and Eric. Eric, that was a great live demo. Before we get into questions, I did want to point out we have some links on this page. If you'd like to check out our websites, there's Promevo and Cameyo's websites, along with some related content that you guys will also get links to in an email. ChromeOS and Cameyo did a joint research analysis with the ESG and IDC. A lot of great content in there, so make sure you check those out. And then we'd also like to announce that our next webinar will be on July 26th about Beyond Core Enterprise. You also get a link to register there in the email. All right, so let's get to some questions. Okay. Eric, I think this one's for you. What's the difference between VDI and virtual desktops?
Yeah, sure. So we were kind of talking about where that's hosted. So when we get into DaaS, that's more of a like a cloud native play, but it's still located in the vendor's platform, whereas VDI is locally hosted. I guess would be the biggest differences there. But yeah, and Cameyo just kind of takes that next level and allows you to have the flexibility of hosting either way with your on-prem server infrastructure, or fully hosting with us, or hosting in your own preferred cloud vendor's platform as well. So just kind of flexibility across the board for where you're going to be hosted, and then you just can work with us on how your applications get presented. Okay,
great. And then can you touch more on file integration and Drive, especially for Word, etc.?
Yeah, so what's one of the cool features about Cameyo is that we offer file handling. So we're able to allow you to designate how you'd like different file types to be handled, what applications open natively with that. So that's pretty cool. And then, sorry, what was the rest of that question? Integrations into Drive. So yeah, the Google Drive integration is incredibly easy. You just authenticate to it. I showed you on that page inside of Cameyo where you just click the link to set that up, and then users are gonna just authenticate. It can remember the credentials. So there's that pass through each time, so they don't need to keep trying to sync that up. The same would be true for, you mentioned Word. The same would be true for like a OneDrive. We just try to be really flexible in terms of how you access the resources that you have. So even like local file shares and stuff could be accessible.
Okay, wonderful. And how secure is this? Like, how does Cameyo approach security?
I think it's one of the best security offerings out there, really, because the idea is actually like, let's limit your perimeter entirely. Let's eliminate the attack vectors like VPNs and stuff that are the main issue that I think organizations are seeing when they're getting attacked with ransomware attacks and stuff. So with Cameyo, it's a huge paradigm shift, because we're taking the application level and we're pushing that out through a browser. So if the application closes, there's no admin rights or backend that they're going to get back into your server infrastructure. There's just nothing there to really exploit. So it's wildly secure in a very different way than I think security has been approached in the past. Our CTO likes to joke that it's a security product packaged in an application delivery product. Nobody really laughs at that joke, but it's pretty true.
I'll laugh for everybody.
Thank you.
Okay. Can the ChromeOS File Manager know to open a Cameyo app?
Yeah. So that's what we were kind of talking about with file handling. So it's going to be so seamless that you're going to think that those applications are installed locally and you're just launching that file that way. But yeah, we have file handling, and it'll just launch the Cameyo browser, just like I did when I clicked the link for that Acrobat Reader application that I pushed out.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Sandeep, this one's for you. Can this run on any Chromebook, or does it need something with a lot of power?
No, there are no requirements other than just having a Chromebook. Just like you install anything on a Chrome, or when you open a browser on a Chromebook, there are no other requirements except just having a Chromebook.
Yeah,
Okay, that's great.
really is any application, any device.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Let's see here. Here's another one. What can we expect with locally attached peripheral devices interacting with Cameyo Published Apps?
Yeah, so again, just kind of going back to that HTML5 player, you're going to use the Windows native player or the HTML5 player. And, you know, I mean, they tend to pass through anything that users are typically using. I've seen some corner cases here and there where our support team has had to work a little bit more to try to get things pushed through that player. Like we've had some things with scanners in the past where we've done a little extra work to make those work. But in general, yeah, anything that's going to pass through the HTML5 player or Windows native player is what Cameyo is going to use to work with those peripheral devices.
Okay. All right. Just one or two more questions here. For your hosting, do you offer BAA like Hippa?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're HIPAA compliant.
Okay. Okay. And then what's the protocol used for the browser, like RDP H264?
Yeah, so just kind of digging back into that architecture, essentially what's happening is it's an ongoing RDP session that's presented over HTTPS. So that's your encryption layer, and then it's pushed out in fully encapsulated in HTML5. But yeah, it's RDP is the protocol there.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, we've kind of hit our time and we've hit up most of the questions, which mean you guys did an awesome job explaining everything and going through everything. So thank you, Eric and Sandeep, for your time today. It's truly appreciated. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please look out for the email. It will have the recording attached and all the necessary links for you to find out more. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us and reach out. If we did have a question that we didn't get to, we will reach out and answer it personally. So look forward for that. And we're also going to do a blog post with all of these questions with maybe a little bit more information on them. So please be on the lookout for that as well. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. Have a great day.